what I'm saying is the way that they started out is, hey, we're going to help you. We're going to help. And it's going to be for the immigrant children. That's who we're going to help, because, they're the only ones that's going to have anybody that needs to be, assigned to them, because their parents are the only ones that are going to be away. Their parents are the only ones who are going to be gone. So that's who's going to need this. When the truth about the matter is, these individuals that they are writing these laws for are going to change the very shape of the parenting in California. Imagine Bobby runs away from home. Bobby's not comfortable. He's upset. And Bobby is picked up by a stranger in the street. The stranger in the street says, you're going to need some help. Bobby and this person end up, the person, to me, it's just a way to groom children and get away with it. Here, let's just say it. I can't dance around. Y'all, I just can't. I can't. I try. I really do. I try to just, try to play the tiptoe game, but I can't. This is a way for them to groom children and get them on their way. This is a way for them to take children and not have any accountability. Not only can you take the child and then become their parent or their guardian or their sponsor, as it were, but you can also alter the birth certificate. If that ain't a way to change somebody's identity, Lord knows I don't know what is. I don't know what is. That's exactly what this is. That is exactly what it is. Yeah, that's what it is. They're literally changing the birth certificates. Yep, they're changing the birth certificates. And then not only are they changing the birth certificates, but they are also allowing a stranger, a complete stranger, to take the children. Did you know that? And has anybody told you guys about that? Have you heard about it? Has anybody heard about it? But we've heard about all this other stuff about a dead man. It's called California AB 495. It's known as the Family Preparedness Plan Act of 2025. And it was introduced with the intention of helping families, particularly during emergencies like deportation and incarceration, hospitalization, allowing parents to legally authorize trusted adults to care for their children. One of the pros is that it gives families the ability to plan ahead, especially in vulnerable communities, by naming relatives or even a close non-relative to step in without going through the lengthy and costly court process. It's designed to keep children out of foster care and in familiar environments, and it allows schools and medical providers to conveniently work with those caregivers. What this thing does not say in this piece is that it also allows a teacher to do it, to be the person that can be a child's guardian. So it says it's designed to keep the children out of foster care and in a familiar environment, and allows the schools and medical providers to confidently work with those caregivers, knowing that they've been given legal authority. The law spells out clearly those eligible to act as temporary caregivers. They may include a non-relative extended family member. It may include a term that covers coaches, teachers, neighbors, and family friends who have a close relationship with the child. These adults, once authorized through a simple affidavit, listen to me carefully, please listen. Through a simple affidavit, can enroll the child in school, make medical decisions, and even authorize mental health care, all without the need of court approval. Isn't that convenient? Isn't that convenient? I mean, isn't that wonderful? Isn't that what you want? Don't you want something seamless like that? Isn't that wonderful? You would have just something so seamless. You wouldn't have to worry at all about, having to go through a lengthy court. You wouldn't have to worry about, I'm going to take care of my, my niece's daughter or son, and I don't have to go and purchase any extra things or buy, go buy an attorney or pay for an attorney or pay for somebody to help me file these documents. Okay. I don't have to do any of that. But here's where the concern comes in. The biggest thing that I disagree with on this is that the parent's consent is not required to activate the affidavit. A non-relative adult, say a teacher who's gotten close to the student or a neighbor the child confides in, can simply claim they're caring for the child, check a box, stating that they can't reach the parent. Did you realize that? This bill literally says there's two boxes. One, the parent consents. You check that box. The parent consents is I got the consent of the parent. And then the other one is I can't reach the parent. Either way it go, the parent has nothing to do with the affidavit. And I'm not joking. And I'm not wrong. And if you hear somebody else say different than what I'm saying, go pick the law up yourself and read it. If there's anybody that comes across your timeline or whispers in your ear about this, please promise me that you will go, even with me, and pick up the whole law and read it. Because all it needs to be is a neighbor or a child, friends, parents, a neighbor, anybody that the child confides in can simply claim that they're caring for the child. They can check the box, simply stating that they tried to reach the parent. They can't reach him at all. And then this document gives them legal power over that child. There is no requirement for a background check, no screening through the California Child Abuse Central Index, and no mandate to notify the biological parent. That opens the door for potential manipulation, especially if a child is emotionally vulnerable and is easily influenced. I mean, we're talking Patty Hearst all over again, but this is much worse. That was a big grown woman. And even though the situation was bad, we're talking about little kids. So now the law, while this law specifically does allow the parents to revoke the affidavit, the very word revoke, in my impression, implies that the parent gave them permission in the first place. Because in order for you to give somebody something, in order for you to revoke something, means you have to, that you can go back and take it away. They use the term revoke in this law. So while the law does allow the parents to revoke the affidavit, the word revoke implies that the parent gave permission in the first place. To me, that's going to be a little tricky red tape. And while the intention of AB 495 may be to protect, the lack of safeguards could lead to unintended and dangerous consequences. And this leads us to another California law, which is SB 59, which deals with the identity changes and the access to records. SB 59 expands the legal and privacy protections under gender and name changes, specifically stealing, in my opinion, it says sealing, but sealing court records for people of any age who petition to change their name or gender marker. Now, while this might sound unrelated at first, it does connect to the same broader themes of bypassing parental involvement in key decisions, because under SB 59, a minor can go to a court to change their name and gender marker, and those records will automatically be sealed, meaning not even a parent may be aware that it happened. And in combination with AB 495, critics warn this will create a legal environment where a child could be temporarily housed with a non-adult relative, that they could receive medical care, including gender-affirming treatments, and change their legal identity, all without the full knowledge or consent of a parent. Supporters say this protects the children in unsafe homes. And now opponents say that it chips away at the role of the parents and the family structure. Either way, the laws are changing fast, and parents need to be paying attention. People need to pay attention to this. People need to know that this is happening. And a lot of folks don't know. Why? Because of the huge distraction. Now, somebody might say, this does not compare to the list, so I don't think that this is what they're trying to hide. Think about it. Really? It doesn't sound like they're trying to hide this? I'll hold. So this is not even, worrying about child protective services. This is not that. I want everybody to understand that this and that are two different animals altogether. This is a legal way, in my professional opinion, to take somebody's child. Let me know what you think. You guys go ahead, tell me what you think. I see what's her name says foster parent system is all left up now. This is not even the foster parent system. This is not even that. This is the foster system pales in comparison to this. These two things are totally different, because the foster system goes through a judge. It goes through, you get an attorney for the child. You get it, the parents go get an attorney, and then the state is there. So there's about 3 or 4 attorneys. You got the attorney for the parents, then the children. If there's more than one child, each child will get an attorney. And then you've also got the state that's involved. So it's like all these different little arms, right? And they all go to court and they all stand before the judge. And then there's all these witnesses around, even if it's just people that are in the courtroom, not necessarily a whole boatload of folks. This is not that. This is literally a piece of paper that someone can get. They go, they have it, they get it taken care of, and that's it. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I just think that it's maybe I think it's weird. I don't know. Maybe I just think it's weird. Maybe it's just me. In my opinion, this is dangerous. And I don't think we're going to see it. I don't think a lot of people are going to feel it, because they think that it's just going to be something for, the immigrants, since a woman, from an immigrant community is the one that created it, even though I cannot find her mama, her daddy, her dog, her cat, her frog. I cannot find what school she went to. I cannot find what college she graduated from. I can't find any information about this plant. So that's just 2 of the new laws that they've got in California. That's just 2 of them. The other ones are just as bad. But my question is, what do you want? What do you need? Are we so consumed by what we need or what we want that we really don't see what's really going on around us? And no matter what you think about where you are, whether you consider this a prison planet or you consider this, a great place to be, or whether you consider it a place that has had potential, but now it doesn't. Where do you stand in the scheme of this? In the scheme of things, where are you in this whole thing that I just described? What kids do you know? What nephews or cousins, or what little kid do you know that seems to have a little attitude problem, that may be one of those kids who might just run away? And why wouldn't you concern yourself about this? Some would say, well, I wouldn't concern myself about it because it's from California and I don't live in California. Or I live all the way up in Philadelphia, or I live all the way down here in Florida. Well, I live in the Midwest. None of these things affect me. Really? Because it's a litmus test. Anything that happens in California most assuredly can happen in your town and a town near you. It can happen in any town USA. When I say it can, it can. So how long does it generally take for things that happen in California to become, I don't know, known? It's the same way that it was in Virginia. I guess when everybody on the other sides of Virginia, when Mr. Plecker was running around taking every Indian and making them black, saying that they couldn't be Indian, saying that they couldn't be Cherokee, saying that they couldn't be whatever they were, everybody probably will look at that story and go, well, it was just in that region. No, what happened in Virginia ended up happening all over the place. Why? Because Virginia was a litmus test. So they made it to where it was only black and then white for means of the census at that time. Mr. Plecker did that. He was a registrar, and there were other things that were small little stories that were sort of the underbelly of what he had gotten that from, because it started someplace else. But he's the one who really, really pushed the narrative and made it what it is today. It's like the Indian Removal Act, taking all our identity, making everybody black or colored. But this is what I'm talking about, when it doesn't matter, because it's just, it's about us 4 and no more. When it's just about us 4 and no more, then it doesn't matter to anybody, and who cares? But this right here, this can affect you. Just like nobody said much then, He really didn't have any right to say it. Probably couldn't even read or understand it, but nobody said anything and it just sort of happened. This is just like that. Erasing people, erasing the children, erasing their ethnicity, erasing their sex, erasing who their families are, erasing their parentage. This is that. So, what do you need? What do you need? What do you need to survive? What do you need to take care of your family? What's so important that you can't focus on these things? Do you have a need of the list? Is the list really that important? All of us who say that we are children's advocates, especially those of us who literally are the advocates of the children, that's what we do. Were we aware that this was going on? Do we even care? Sometimes that's what happens here in this country, is that it feels like there's so many things that happen and take place that nobody really cares. Nobody really cares. You can bring this story. It'll itch everybody's ears for today. And then after it itches everybody's ears for today, after that, it's over. No more ear itching. It tickled. We go on to the next thing. We go on to the next thing. That's what we do. We just go on to the next story. That's all. This is troubling. This is California. But this is also Anytown, USA. This is Anytown, USA. So what do you need to make yourself successful? What do you need to make sure that your family is safe? What do you need? What are you focused on right now? What's important? Crickets. Because that's unfortunately how we have been taught to look at things. That if it doesn't affect us right now, we're not going to worry about it until it's our first cousin's son, until it's our, somebody on the soccer team got a little too close to the kid and we didn't know, but the law just slipped in under the radar in our state and we didn't see it. I can't believe people actually went for this crap. But it was the same way several years ago when I was the main one on Facebook getting banned, because I was like, wait a minute, how did you guys just legalize not telling on the pimp or a child who's been trafficked? If they find a little girl or a boy and they arrest the child and take the child into custody when they've been found doing this with this adult has caused them to do this horrific thing. Then what they did is they said, well, you don't have to tell who did this. You don't have to tell. You don't have to tell who put you on the streets. You don't have to tell. Nobody got it. This is the culmination of that. Anyway. I don't know. I guess I just take things a little too personally when it comes to stuff like this, because to me, that's the stuff that really stings. That's the stuff that really does mean a lot. Let's see if we can find this anywhere. I don't think we can because I don't know that a lot of channels even picked this up as far as news was concerned. And again, what I appreciate the most are our mods who send me information. I appreciate Betty R. I appreciate Sandy. I appreciate I can't say his name because he's not giving me permission, but your name starts with a W, and I appreciate you because you give me news and information, and I appreciate that. So let me see if I can find this law in the news someplace, and hopefully I can, but probably not, because everybody is so tripped out on a list. Everybody is so upset about the list. Wow. Hold on. Let's see, maybe ABC News in California, Channel 7. Let's see. Los Angeles. Yeah, there we go. Now let's see if they have anything about this, because this. I don't know, you guys. Do you think this is a big deal or no? You think I'm making much ado about nothing? You think I'm making much ado about nothing? Is this really not much? Maybe it's not much. Probably not much. Probably not. Probably not much. All right, hold on, you guys. Let's see what we find. Let's see what we got. Oh, okay. So let's see. Okay, well, this is when they first put it out there. CRA sponsored bills. All right. Oh, is this her? Compost? Let me find the lady. No, they ain't got it nowhere. It's nowhere. Well, here's a new list of laws. Let's see. Laws in effect. I wonder if it's going to touch it. But these are, this was 6 months ago. But you know what? They would have done something like that. Put it out 6 months ago for you to see it. And then say, we told y'all. Y'all didn't see it? Let's see if this has it. This is coming from Fox 11 Los Angeles. Let's see if this is going to have it. And that way we can see it. Thank you all for hanging out with us. This is just a casual conversation on a Saturday evening. So please don't think it's something special. Don't come thinking it's going to be something special, baby, because it's not.
Crime, housing,
casual.
parental notification, and more.
Hold on. Let me take my speaker down.
Major changes are coming to California in the way of new bills passed in the state legislature and signed into law by Governor Gavin Newsom. Sophia Bolag is a politics reporter.
So is that loud enough or no?
Chronicle. She's based in Sacramento. She joins me now to break down some of these new laws. Good to have you. Thanks for being with us tonight, Sophia.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, we're going to kick things off talking about a new law that takes effect tomorrow that deals with car break-ins.
Wait a minute. I have a question. You guys didn't know that he got us out of the Who? The Who? And I don't mean that rockin' band. Okay, thank you, babies. Thank you. I love you guys. Thank you. But you guys did not know that? I mean, all of that stuff to me is more political moves. It's not anything like this right here. He's sticking his nose in states. This right here? Why did he stick his nose in this? All right, let's go. And you know what? Are you sick of it? It's thank you very much. Thank you. There you go. That is exactly what this is. That is exactly what this is. That's exactly it. And that is why I'm saying all of the laws that start in California bleed to New York. And then from New York, they go into the center. They go on the outskirts of the United States, and then they come in the center, or they go in the south. And there'll be other little laws that they'll create that'll be semi like this. You know what I mean? So let's see what these chicks are talking about.
Most impacts car burglars. We can consider this to be called the No More Locked Door Loophole Law. What is this? What does this do?
Yeah, essentially, this is one of about 11 laws that were passed in the last year in prohibit some of the policies in the school districts you've mentioned that essentially required teachers to tell a student's parents if they start identifying as a different gender. And so it has been very controversial, and school districts are, already, fighting it. Ones that do want to pass these requirements that teachers do tell parents if students start identifying as a different gender. But Starting January 1st, school districts will be prohibited from requiring teachers to do so.
Yeah, and I think the fight continues, though, within those school districts that are already involved in this fight as it relates to this new law. Okay, thank you for clarifying that. The Affordable Housing Enforcement, this essentially gives the Attorney General a whole lot of power when it comes to affordable housing in particular cities, where the AG can now fine cities if they don't make a certain percentage of their housing affordable, right?
Yeah, this is one of a number of different laws that have been passed in recent years that really aim to force cities and counties to approve new housing and penalize those that don't. And so it will allow the Attorney General to impose fines on cities that violate certain state housing laws by not approving or not planning for enough housing in their jurisdictions.
Yeah, and we've seen this fight too locally in Huntington Beach and also the city of Norwalk. You know about that, of course. Lastly,
Absolutely.
the medical debt that a lot of people have. I think it's about 40% of people have medical debt in the state of California. That's one of the statistics I wrote. This is not going to go against your credit score anymore. Is that right, Sophia?
Yeah, starting next year, tomorrow, credit bureaus won't be allowed to include medical debt in credit scores and credit reports. And so the idea is that then won't count against people and lower their credit score if they have medical debt.
I think that's a relief to a lot of people, because I think sometimes people would stop short of actually getting the medical care they need because they don't want to acquire the debt, because what it will do to their credit score.
Okay. They're winding that up. So let me let you guys see what's good. I'm gonna let you see this one. I found the guy from California chatting. So hold on. All right, here he is. Let's see what he's got to say.
Which is a dream come true for traffickers and kidnappers. Second, Assembly Bill 84 defunds charter schools by over $1 billion to force kids into state-run schools. Finally, the Democrat superintendent of schools has released a memo saying that California will not prevent biological boys from competing in girls' sports, contrary to federal rules. The Trump administration is suing the state of California over its unfair sports policies. We're hoping to restore fairness very soon. Stay tuned for updates on these issues and all things California. California Democrats are coming for your kids with 3 dangerous new policies. First, Assembly Bill 495 lets anyone claim guardianship over your child, which is a dream come true for traffickers and kidnappers. Second, Assembly Bill 84 defunds charter schools by over $1 billion to force kids into state-run schools. Finally, the Democrat superintendent of schools has released a memo saying that California will not prevent biological boys from competing in girls' sports, contrary to federal rules. The Trump administration is suing the state of California over its unfair sports policies. We're hoping to restore fairness very soon. Stay tuned for updates on these issues and all things California.
So they're suing him for that particular situation with regards to the students, participating in the sports or whatnot, but nobody said anything about the AB 495. And you just heard him mention it. You just heard him gloss over that, but crickets. I mean, it's absolute crickets from the administration. I don't know what to say. It's just absolute flipping crickets from the administration. And from anybody else, nobody seems to give a flip. Nobody cares. So here's what I'd like for you to do. If you care, look up the law. It's 495, AB 495 out of California. And when you look it up, I'd like for you to make sure that you share it and that you tell people about it who may be from that area, because I guarantee you there's not a lot of parents that really know the totality of it. I think a lot of times people get so busy just living their lives and dealing with, us four and no more and not having to worry about a lot of stuff that they forget that there's these laws that are passing. They'll hear the face, and the face of what they used this bill for was immigration. That's what they did. They used that as the face. And so once that face was exposed to this is what the bill's about, people go, it's no big deal. But they didn't realize the totality of it. And so this is what I say. Share this with anybody else that you might know, and just pass the information around. That's it. I'm gonna get off my soapbox because I know that that's not necessarily what you guys want me to do, be on my little soapbox. But anyway, okay, so let's go ahead and look at some of your comments, you guys. Let's put some comments in here. Let's get the conversation rolling. It doesn't necessarily have to be about that, but it can be about anything. It can be about anything because, again, this is just Saturday and we just hanging out. It makes you feel like, let's talk. I want you to talk to me. Tell me what's on your mind. You know what I mean? It's like, tell me what's on your mind. Yeah, the devil is always in the details. Always. It's always. And so it's like, you know what? We don't really think about it. We just want to deal with whatever it is that we got on our plate today. And the reason why I named this "What Do You Need" is because what we need is not really what we need. It's more so what we want. It's more so what we want. Yeah, it's more what we want. Squeaky clean, thank you. People only go for the shiny objects. Yeah, a lot of people do get the ferret syndrome. Yeah, a lot of people do. Trust the plan, nothing to see here but the lists. And that's my problem. I am so amazed that that's what we're really tripping on, because I'm going to coin a phrase from Hillary Clinton. What did she say, you guys? What point does it make now? Or what does it mean now? Somebody say, what was it? What did she say, Sandy? What difference does it make now? Or what is the difference now? What would the list do now? They're not gonna arrest nobody. If we knew everybody's name that was on that list right now, I guarantee you. You guys do me a favor, please take the time right now and hit the bell, hit the notification, the thummy, hit that little thumb thing. But I guarantee you that if you knew the people's names, it wouldn't make a difference, because it's the same people that we probably already assumed that it was. The teachers are becoming psychologists, and some of them need help. Some of the psychologists even need help. Cheyenne. He, meaning 45, 47, did he, though? When you look at the USMCA and the Climate 24 environment sections, I'm going to see what you guys are talking about. Yeah, I agree with that so much. Are you sick of it? You really said it. Yeah, she was pretty pale, wasn't she, Cheyenne? She was. Because I've been blasting and laughing so long that even my mama thinks my mind is gone. Yes. Yes, indeed. Trump signed today to leave the WHO. Yeah, but I mean, he had already been talking about that. But again, I don't see that as anything serious. I see that as just him. That's political. That's a conversation to tickle the base. And if you tickled, then you already know. Yeah, okay, we're not out of that. We're not out of that. We're not out of nothing he said we were going to be out of. I mean, even if you go back to when he decided to pull us out of the whole, I forgot the name of the thing, and then it ended up where we had these treaties with other countries. My brother knows the name of it. I forget the name of it. But anyway, then after that, what did we do? We went and gotten right in bed with Canada and Mexico, which is pretty much the same thing. It's just a little different tempo. Do you remember that? We got out of one thing that he promised he was going, I'm going to stop it immediately. And he stopped it immediately and put us right in bed with something else. Oh man, I wish I could remember the name of that thing. Yeah, I wish. As a child by the police, do you see what I'm saying? So all you got to do is say, hey, my mom did this, or my dad did that, or I don't feel this, or I don't feel that, or I don't feel safe. You know what I'm saying? Cheyenne says I'm one of the remnants. Oh my goodness. I'm one of the remnants. Oh, wow. Hey, are you still here, Sandy? Let me see if Sandy's still here. There you go. Can you see the comments from Mike? Mike Labonte. I love him. Where is he? No, I don't see Mike's comments. Why do they do that to him? You guys go over and check out his channel. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I really like some of the stuff he puts up. He's pretty good. Go check it out. Senate could not pivot fast enough from 89 to 10 votes. and literally the next breath live on C-SPAN. You guys see his comments and you guys encourage him because they hide them from me. Why? I do not know. I do not know. But Sandy, the reason why I was asking you is because I want to send you the link so that you can come on and chat with me. You won't have to have your face on you. What happens is once you come in through the backstage, you have a choice to turn your camera on or no. And so you don't have to worry about your camera. You want to come up with me and hang out? Anybody that wants to hang out with me, let me know right quick. Because this is a casual day and I'm just chilling. Cleaned up the house, modded for somebody else that I mod for a pretty long time today. So we're just going to chill. So if you want to come up, Sandy, or even Michael, let me know. Let me know. I'm going to put in I'm going to put some music on. Okay. Maybe not that music, but let's put a commercial on right quick. Since we are 52 minutes into the podcast, we're going to put a little bit of this here on, and then you guys go ahead and let me know. And Sandy, you can hit me up by cell phone, text message if you want to come on. Here we go. Hey everyone, it's me, Felicia, of the Lockhart Perspective and Headlines with a Voice. I want to tell you a little secret. This is what I used to do because I don't do it anymore. I would go to the store, buy the barbecue sauce, pour it inside of a bowl, put a whole bunch of different spices, a dash of brown sugar, a dash of maple, and a dash of mustard, stir it all around, and everybody would be like, oh my gosh, this is the best, this is the best. But I was exhausted after all of that, and a lot of times I couldn't remember how many dashes of what I put in it. But I don't have to do that anymore because now I just go to Judge Joe Brown's website and I order his 3-pack of bottled barbecue sauce. It is by far the best, and I do mean the best barbecue sauce I've ever eaten. And when you go to his website and you order his 3-pack, you'll see exactly what I mean. Head on over to jjbbbbq.com and order Judge Joe Brown's barbecue sauce. You'll be glad you did, and you're going to tell me about it. I know you will.
With tomorrow's news today, this is Headlines with a Voice.
Yeah. The car. All right.
I just saw what you said. I don't trust myself to not get you a strike. Girl, bye. Ain't nobody even tripping. I mean, we could delete this anyway because it's just really us just casually chatting and talking or whatever. But nonetheless, you guys, I'm not going to hold you. I did want to see who wanted to come on and just hang out. You know, it's just an hour that we've been here together. But I did want to ask you, what do you need? And is what you need or what you think you need is as important as you think it is? Because what's going to happen is here in a minute, a lot of the rights that we think we have are going to be stripped away, whether we like it or not, and whether we know it or not, because it's happening every single day. There's not a lot that we are going to be able to salvage because a lot of it is being done and none of us know. Looking at those particular laws, just the 2 of the several laws that Betty R. had sent up, those laws are just 2 of several, and nobody really knew about it because it's all being overshadowed by a lot of other stuff that they're piling on top of it. So I guarantee you that what you think you need is not really what you need. It's something that you want. That if we take away all the fluff and start to parcel it out and remove all of the trash and the junk that's sitting up on top of us, if we move all of that off, then we'll find out that the skeleton is just what we need. Family, love, companionship, of course, food, fresh food, fresh water, clean water. Did you guys see the story that we did the other day dealing with fluoride? Did you see that? There's a judge who said, hey, we don't need this, so let's take it out. And then our very government is supposed to be the EPA. It's the same exact set of individuals that are supposed to put safeguards in place. Says, no, I think what we're going to do is just go sue to prevent this from happening. And then they add on a few more people that they feel is going to be able to help them push this narrative. And that's the, American Dental Association and a couple of other associations with a whole bunch of, initials and whatnot behind them. So really, at the end of the day, the stuff that we think we need, we could really do away with. And we could focus on the stuff that we know we have to have. Because again, the stuff that we need is really the stuff that we want. We need to get rid of some of those things. We need to get rid of the mindset of chasing this information constantly, chasing information. I have to have information. I need the information. It's got to be to me. I got to know everything. Okay, so we know about the WHO, but what is that? How does that help us? We knew that there was a list, and we know there's still a list. But even if we got the list, what would happen if we saw whose name was really on it? Is that something that we really need? Or do we need to protect those children? Do we need to protect our family? Do we need to protect our neighborhoods and our homes? Do we need to protect our schools? Do we need to protect anybody, even if you don't have children and you reside in a neighborhood that there are children that are thriving? Do you need to protect them? Certainly you do. Why? Because anything that happens in your community inevitably is going to affect you in one way or another. And it's so ironic that as soon as we feel like something doesn't is when it taps on our front door. Tapping at our chamber door. Yeah. For all the Poeites that love Poe, like me. So that's pretty much the question. That's the question. Let me know your answer down below in the comments if you are here for the replay. And yeah, I see 2 messages from you here, Sandy. One says, tell Felicia I would like to hang out with her and see if we can do something about this technology crap. From Mike. Mike, the first thing I want to know is why I can't see you. Michael Powell says, our area around here has a long, solid out to the, what is this? You know, I can't even hardly read regular. And so doing end on relationships of trust. That's where it is at. Okay. And then another message from Mike. Can you tell Felicia that Mike cannot comment on the, why can't he comment is my question. I literally go and find his channel on purpose and watch something and leave a comment just to let him know that I see him, that I know he's here. I have no clue. They did the same thing to Sandy one time. They did the same thing to Sandy, and then they zapped all of her comments. The same thing happened to my good friend and my good brother, Anthony Van Zant. We couldn't see anything of his. We could not see anything. Let's see. Are you sick of it? Did you see the boy? Oh my God. Was that oh, you sent that to the company email? I mean, to the company cell phone text message. Send it to the email info@FeliciaLockhart.com. If you sent it to the text message, I don't even know. There's my son, one of my sons, Dark Lake. Hello, Dark Lake. How are you? I want to thank you so very much for that super sticker, $10 super sticker. He is now the sponsor of this show. And I so do appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That means a lot to me. Thanks. So yeah, you know, it's just, to me, it just seems like I don't think a lot of people understand that when we see these little rumblings in California, when we see these little rumblings in places like New York and you know, and different big cities or whatever, these things are a precursor of things to come. All of this stuff is what can and will happen in the United States because they always test it on the West Coast. I remember when I was living in California before I left and came to the South, I remember there was, and now I think he's like a senator or something like that, but a big guy out there now. There was a city, I think it was Bell Gardens or something like that. Anyway, there was a little guy that was local, and he was actually trying to push for people who were not legally in the United States to get driver's license because he felt like it would help them. And somehow, do you realize that that guy is the one who actually pushed and got that bill years after I was gone? That it's now a bill because of him. They actually have those driver's license. But I was the one then looking like a, you know, run around like a chicken with my head cut off, telling everybody that I knew, hey, this is going to be a problem. Hey, and everybody sat there like they were just relaxed. They were just chilled. Yeah, I don't think that's ever going to happen. They're not going to ever let that happen. That's never going to happen. And don't you know it's happened? And then it happened in several other states, because what happens there is the litmus test. And this is so important, you guys. So if you know anybody who has children, and it does not matter their ethnicity, because like I told you, in California, this bill was pushed for legislation, specifically the way that they touted it was going to help with children of immigrant parents. One parent may be detained, the other parent may have been picked up by ICE, or this parent, this or that. This is who it's for. No one ever writes a bill that's just going to isolate said children. Not to mention the fact that in California, they were already having a high influx of children come across that border that never made it into anybody else's hands. They have people that they see the kids made it to one place and they don't see them anymore after that. Scores of children that are just missing. So now I guess, okay, fine. Trump is in office. I don't really think that's a big deal as far as trying to get something, fixed, because to me, somebody from the Attorney General's office needs to be reviewing these types of laws when it comes to child safety. There needs to be somebody reviewing these things, and there needs to be a public notice, a real big public notice to the parents that says, hey, did you know this bill can actually remove your child from you without you knowing? That it just has to be a trusted person to your child. Your child is the only person that has to trust this adult. Don't talk about the fact that there are children who are really, really vulnerable to other adults. You get a coach that a child admires. Hey, you want to come and stay with me, son? I know that you're never on time to school. And maybe if you come and stay with me, you don't have to talk to your parents about it. But you come and stay with me. And I'll make sure you get to school on time, because I know how it bothers you. You don't have to say anything to your parents. There's a new law. I'll take care of everything. You want to graduate, right? You want me to help you get into these big colleges, right? And then this dude is gone. This is what we're looking at. These are the realities. So it does matter. And it will spread, because I feel the same way now that I did when I was ringing the bell, like sitting in the belfry, ringing the bell. Okay, ringing the bell, moving all the bats out the way out of the belfry. But I was in that belfry and I was ringing the bell and I was screaming, telling everybody, hey, they're going to give them license. And if they give them license, eventually they're going to be able to vote. Who cares? Who cares? We don't care. So what? It's all right. Now I want to see what's going to happen with this. But I shudder to think. I shudder to think that if all the things that we think we need are the most important things, we need to know about the list, but we don't need to know that these children are now going to be able to be taken away from their families without their parents even having one bit of knowledge about it, that they can actually take and alter their birth certificates now, that they don't have to do anything but fill out an affidavit. Yeah, we need to talk about this. We need to talk about this. We need to talk about this. So I do appreciate each and every one of you guys. I do appreciate the sponsor of this show, Mr. Dark Lake. And hey, listen, you guys, if you can afford to give me $1 today, you can support the channel as well. Just send $1 and you can do it right here on YouTube. Anything you give to me from YouTube goes to YouTube, but I get the majority of it. And let's just be honest, I don't think we know each other if it wasn't for YouTube. So even though they're going to get a small portion of it, it's just a little handling charge, and you help to support the channel. So I appreciate that. Just a buck, it goes so far. You can also become a member here. We have a boatload of videos over there, a load of them. And they're just sitting there waiting for you, for your eyeballs only, to go over there and review them, because, well, they're not going to be seen publicly. The full video, the teaser that we did, I think it was yesterday, where we talked briefly about what was happening with the psychedelics. Well, the psychedelics that RFK wants to push, the entire video is over there under the membership. So I would hope that you guys would appreciate the fact that now we are back and we are able to be with you more often. But I can't be with you if you can't at least give me 50 cents, because the truth is it takes money to live and to exist and to do this. And yes, I want to make sure that I'm doing this. In tandem with that, we are actually going to be on the streets. We now have credentials to actually, do the reporting that we're going to be doing out in the field. So that's another thing as well. I'm not going back to work for anybody else. I think I owe you guys more than that. I think there's so much more in me that I know that I can give you, because I don't believe there's a lot of people that are giving it to you raw and uncut. I think there's a lot of people who have money and who have backers that maybe even have the complexion of my skin. And because they have the complexion of my skin, they are now being shifted to speak the way that they're speaking. But there are very few people that I know of that are like me on this platform and not. So if you want to support the channel, please do. But if you don't support the channel, I love you anyway. The only thing I ask you to do is hit that like button and make sure that your bell notification is on the application that you watch YouTube on. Go to YouTube on your cell phone or your computer, go to notifications, turn it on there, and then make sure that it's on here. I appreciate y'all. Again, Dark Lake, I appreciate you, baby. Thank you so much for looking out for me. Appreciate everybody. And Mike Labonte, baby, we got to get you fixed. I don't know what's going on. I really don't. But I do know that I don't like it. Me no likey. Me no likey. All right, y'all. Take care of yourselves, because trust me and believe me, if you don't take care of yourself first, ain't nobody going to take care of you. You be just sitting over there drowning in a corner. Won't nobody even look around. They remember when you gone, but they darn sure ain't going to help you if you don't help yourself. And before you can help anybody else, before you can, take care of somebody else, take care of you. And then once you can breathe and once you can do what you can do, then you can retch around and help somebody else. Y'all take care. Peace. Hey everyone, it's me, Felicia, of the Lockhart Perspective and Headlines with a Voice. I want to tell you a little secret. This is what I used to do, because I don't do it anymore. I would go to the store, buy the barbecue sauce, pour it inside of a bowl, put a whole bunch of different spices, a dash of brown sugar, a dash of maple, and a dash of mustard, stir it all around, and everybody would be like, oh my gosh, this is the best, this is the best. But I was exhausted after all of that, and a lot of times I couldn't remember how many dashes of what I put in it. But I don't have to do that anymore, because now I just go to Judge Joe Brown's website and I order his 3-pack of bottled barbecue sauce. It is by far the best, and I do mean the best barbecue sauce I've ever eaten. And when you go to his website and you order his 3-pack, you'll see exactly what I mean. Head on over to jjbbbbq.com and order Judge Joe Brown's barbecue sauce. You'll be glad you did, and you're going to tell me about it. I know you will. To receive instant notification each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification.
Helping you.